Before I get into any Eagles news, before anything, okay, I'm going to go through a recap real quick, not even because I don't even cover this team and I don't even care. I just don't have time to cover this team, and thank God I don't, because I would just be screaming every time. With the 76ers lose, obviously second round of the playoffs once again. Between the GM, the head coach, your number 1 and 2 starters, your 2 superstars, you got to blow this thing up. It's time. Embiid looked like he didn't give a crap. The third quarter was just disastrous. 10 points for the whole entire team in the third quarter, and that was pretty much it. Totally choked away. I mean, Doc Rivers, there's no more excuses for Embiid now. Like, I think there's more problems than what they are. Doc Rivers has lost, 7 times, being up 3-2 in the playoffs, which is just crazy. This is just a hump they can't get over. I think they have to reset. They have to hit that reset button. I think it's over. I think it's done. The GM bringing in these past Houston Rocket players, and I already knew before they signed, Harden. It was exciting, but this team doesn't know how to prepare, and that's on the head coach and the adjustments. And they looked like they just gave up yet again. They looked like they got bullied around. They got beaten. They got abused. There's really nothing much to say about it. We already knew that James Harden wasn't the same James Harden. I mean, Embiid always gets hurt when he gets into the playoffs, and then if he's better, then great, and they still can't. Then he's healthy, and we still can't do anything. I think a lot of changes have to be made, and, thank God I don't cover this team. I don't have time to cover this team. I don't have time to watch every game every other day. I just don't have the time for it, and I'm glad I don't, because this is just a headache. At least the Philadelphia Stars played with more heart than this damn team that played today. Literally played with more heart. It's really sad watching what we just watched, and thank God I couldn't deal with this every year. I couldn't. The leadership is horrible between the head coach. Don't give Embiid any more excuses, and just fire Doc Rivers, and just don't do that, because it's not the problem. This roster's a problem. The head coach is a problem, and who knows, that GM might have to go too, because maybe some different moves have to be made, and it's just not working. It's really not. So that's all I got to say about the Sixers. I'm not going in depth with anything. I don't care. I don't cover them. I just want to talk about them real fast. We have some news for the Philadelphia Eagles. So we got some good news. We actually have a leader on this team that's not going to back down. So that's what I can respect about Jalen Hurts leading this team. And over there, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say about it. But news for the Philadelphia Eagles. Some pretty good news, actually, that the Eagles are not done with some moves, and some more might be coming, and some rumors coming out. So let's get straight into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day, or at least trying to have a fantastic day. I know it's been a tough day. I know it's Mother's Day. Everyone's been doing their thing, but obviously with the Sixers losing today, so everyone's like, kind of in a bad mood, but be in a good mood, because the Eagles are still a great team, okay? Still a great roster, and more to add to this roster as well. So more rumors for the Philadelphia Eagles have come out today that between the Chargers and the Philadelphia Eagles have inquired to at least try to sign linebacker / defensive end Leonard Floyd. Okay, had 9 to 9.5 sacks the last 2 seasons, which is great. Almost double-digit sacks, last year and the year before that. 30 years old, so we totally get. This would probably be a very cheap signing. I think Leonard Floyd would fit really well here. I think that this is one of those moves, and I already kind of knew there was a lot of defensive ends still available. Frank Clark still available. Okay, Yannick Ngakoue still available. Even Jadeveon Clowney still available. There's still some good veteran defensive ends still really out there. So when you take this Eagles defense, you kind of put in like what the lineups are going to be for first, second, third team, whatever the case may be. With that, I kind of think, okay, it's going to be Graham and Reddick with the first team defensive end. It's going to be Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, and then it's really going to be Derek Barnett. Okay. I feel like you need three solid lines here. So who is it going to be? Barnett and Kyron Johnson? They're going to move him to the edge finally, or just keep him an outside linebacker? Patrick Johnson is just not good enough. He is a linebacker. He was, a 6th, 7th rounder from Tulane, and I don't know. He really didn't do much of anything last year either. Got a couple pressures of the year, but nothing that's going to be nuts. So I think the Eagles want to add more to this defensive line going forward. And Leonard Floyd, yes, he's an older player. There's no doubt. This is a one-year deal. This is a rental. I'm hoping whoever they bring in is going to produce, because trading for Robert Quinn really pissed me off. Okay, 10-sack season, and all of a sudden he goes to the Eagles and can't do anything. And then apparently there was rumors that Robert Quinn was hurt the whole entire year. There was rumors that he had an issue with his knee from the trade going from the Bears to the Eagles, and he had some injury that was never disclosed. Maybe disclosed to the Eagles, but I don't think it was disclosed to us on the internet. I didn't see nothing about no injury. So I think he ended up getting some work done on his knee. I think a few weeks into it, I forgot what week he got like a minor type surgery he got or whatever. I think he had like one pressure with the Eagles. I'm not even kidding, guys. I think he had like one, not even, I'm going to say maybe two pressures to make yourself feel better, but I think he only had one throughout the 22 season. Okay, you gave him a 4th-round pick, and he did nothing for your team. So it's a little annoying. I mean, thank God this would be just a signing. This isn't a trade or anything like that, because trading for a 30-year-old defensive end, I would never do it unless... Actually, I probably wouldn't do it, because some guys are just not worth any picks, and some are big risks to take. I didn't think Robert Quinn was going to play that awful with the Eagles on top of giving away a pick. The one thing I can't stand is, and obviously he was just a rental, and he wasn't expensive either. It was only like $600,000-700,000 for the year, so they voided his extra year that he had on his contract. Leonard Floyd could bend around the edge. He's got pure strength. He's very good at getting to quarterbacks, and his resume speaks for itself on getting to quarterbacks as well. So I think when you look at the lining right now, I mean, obviously you kind of need to complete this, at least with these three lines of rotation, and adding Leonard Floyd to that would be pretty nice. And I didn't expect a move like this to happen, or maybe have interest, but I said to myself, Barnett's going to be lined up opposite side of probably a worse player than he is. And like I said, I would just get rid of Barnett and put two brand new guys in there. That's just me, because Barnett's going to be gone after this year. He's playing for himself on a contract, and that's pretty much it. So there could be a lot of interest in Leonard Floyd. Maybe, even the Leonard Floyd move, maybe, that kind of lets them do a little bit more with Nolan Smith, maybe because they'll put more of Nolan Smith, as a coverage linebacker or something like that. Which I don't think I think they'll do that, but not as much. I think he's more of an edge rusher here, and he should be. Hopefully, Sean Desai wakes up and realizes that Nolan Smith should be more of an edge rusher. But like I said, they have to utilize his speed. He brings more to the table than just a rush. He's got that 4.3 speeds, and he moves significantly well. You know what I mean? So you have a defensive end in Nolan Smith that's not is what 242, 243. And some say he went down the board because he's not a 250, 260 pound edge rusher. You know what I mean? He brings more to the table than that, but he's very good on technique, and his technique's been pretty much his bread and butter, and why he gets to quarterback so well with that. It was obviously with his speed. The 40 time in 20 best 40 time from a defensive end in 20 years. So adding in a Leonard Floyd to the mix is just bringing more firepower, more depth for your defensive line, because I don't know. I think the Eagles are sitting there saying, you know what? I don't think Derek Barnett could stay healthy, and if he can't, Leonard Floyd will get more snaps in the rotation if that's the case, or somebody else will. But really, your third line is not great. And I know it's dude, you're talking about your third line. Your first defensive line and your second can start for another team right now. That's how crazy it is with the depth right now, especially at defensive tackle too. So now, at defensive end, like I said, Reddick, Graham, Sweat, Smith, and then you have Barnett, and there's really nothing to really compliment Barnett on that defensive line. Hopefully Barnett does something this year. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I think they're going to keep him as of right now, because they're just, I understand Nick probably doesn't like Barnett that much. Who knows? But I just want something out of him. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think he's walking after this year. Maybe him playing for himself and for a new contract. Well, I'm not saying he's going to have like 8 sacks this year or anything like that. He might not have no sacks, but at least if he's disruptive on the edge and makes quarterbacks move on the inside pocket or something, or just kind of disrupts a little bit, I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? So keep these guys fresh throughout the game, every single game, and your defensive line will not be tired. So like I said, Leonard Floyd's available. Frank Clark's still out there. Jadeveon Clowney's still out there. Yannick Ngakwe's still out there. There's still some nice veteran defensive ends still out there. And the Eagles seem like, you know what? This move would actually make a lot of sense. The Eagles have 4 roster spots open. I just said roster spots. Roster spots. I don't know how to say it. 4 roster spots are open for the Eagles right now. So I think there's still 2 moves coming. I think they go after a linebacker, maybe. But actually, when this news comes out, this probably makes more sense here. I think for both it will, because you have to trade for a player for a linebacker. There's no free agent linebackers or any good or left. I don't even know who's left. But obviously, it would be an Isaiah Simmons thing, a Patrick Queen trade, whatever the case may be with that. Or it would be just a signing at defensive end, or both. I think you'll have 2. I think pretty and like a linebacker move for Patrick Queen or Isaiah Simmons isn't game changer. It's not like, it's a solid move. But I don't think it's you're not breaking the bank for a player. You're not doing anything crazy. You know what I mean? They have a good skill set that brings you a starter or more depth, depending on if Nicholas Morrow does good next to Nakobe Dean, and hopefully Nakobe Dean plays out of his mind this year. And then obviously defensive end. This would make a lot of sense for that third rotation where, your third rotation is very weak right now. I know we're kind of being a little, we're kind of being we're making a big deal out of our third defensive line, our third rotation for the defensive ends, which is not great. You know what I mean? So as much depth as possible for a Super Bowl run this year with a really weak conference, it definitely helps to have more of those guys there. And obviously, if Leonard Floyd needs more snaps, they'll give it to him. You know what I mean? Like he's, trust me, So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this isn't a fool's gold signing, but I would definitely love it. And I think it would complement Barnett really well and, balance it out a little bit. Then whatever you have left for your fourth rotation, if they even have one, it won't be great. But 3 solid lines, the third defensive line not being your greatest. But, as a team, you never know what could happen there. So I think adding Leonard Floyd would be fantastic, be great. So I hope they make the move. It might be now, might not be now, next week, tomorrow. It could be really training camp. I think they've already had their I knew there was already another move coming, and it's going to be a linebacker or a defensive end at this point. So that's where I'm at with all this. You guys let me know what you guys think about the rumors swirling around the Eagles having interest in Leonard Floyd. Or would you go after somebody else, or would you go after Leonard Floyd and the linebacker, or whatever you guys think? Just leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll definitely get back to you guys on all of that. If you guys have lasted this long in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video as well. It does help out the channel out a lot. We have a little bit of a wait to go until training camp, but very excited for the competition looming and really seeing how this thing unfolds, and the competition, which, Sean Desai loves that defensively, and I can't wait for it. I'm pretty excited. And that's pretty much it. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow, fly. Peace out, guys. Peace.